Stampers, this is Karen Phillip. I'm a Stampin Up Demonstrator and I'm pleased to show you how to make this cute card. It's called a bench card. You can see it stands up like that and it can fold flat. I'm pushing the flap in from underneath, pushing it up, and then you can mail it flat. And then when you open it up, you push this down and you have the cute, this one is a dresser. I made another card and this is using a bunch of different items, but it turned out really cute. And again, another bench card, folds up and it'll go flat. So let's get started. So the first pieces you need, here are all the measurements, and I will also post them. So we need a piece of 4 1/4 by 8, 3 by 5 1/2, and a brace that's 4 by 1 3/4. So these are the basic pieces that you'll need. These are scored at 1 1/4. The 4 1/4 by 8, scored at 1 1/4, 2 1/2, 5 1/2, and 6 3/4. The brace is scored at 1/2, 1/2 on each side. And our front piece, they have little X's because those will be cut out. And this piece is scored at 1 1/4 this way. Alright, so the first step is taking, I guess I'll do it on a clean sheet. So our first piece is scored at the 1 1/4 and 2 1/2 on both sides. So you will fold it in on the 2 1/2 inch line, fold it in, and then fold it out. And on the other side, fold it in and fold it out. And it will look like this. So that's our first step. Pretty easy. Then we will take our brace, and that one is, nowhere to be found. That's okay. So I will take this piece, and you'll fold both of these in or out, whichever whichever way you'd like to see it. So I'm going to, because this is white, put strong adhesive, either the tear and tape or the Stampin' Seal Plus. And I'm not finding either one. Well, I'm just going to use the regular. I brought it in here. Okay, so we will just put the adhesive on the one part of the, well, on both sides of the 1/2 inch pieces. We will take our bigger piece and we will put it flat and line it up against the crease on the left side, just inside the crease. And we will fold over the side and push it down. And this is how it will be. It won't have all the letters on. And then we will fold it flat. Your other piece will be even with this fold side, the right fold side. You'll fold it in, squish it, and fold it out. And now you have a brace. So we want to make sure that this will lay flat when it's opened up. Fold it down, put your left side in, be the boss, make sure it's flat. Fold the left, go to the other side, make sure this is flat. And now either way it will be flat, because it might bow a little bit, but when you go flat then it'll stay flat. So that's the second step. The last step to make the actual brace card We have this piece that is scored at 1 1/4 from the top. You can fold that back. Then I have little X's on these, but basically that's just to show you where it will be cut. And I'll take a pencil and measure in 1 1/4 inches. So this is 5 on my grid sheet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, wait. Same width as this. So this one. Okay. So I'm measuring there 1 1/4 and just putting a mark, and 1 1/4 on the other side and putting a mark. So it's 1 1/4 inch on both sides. Now we will cut down to the score line. Make sure you're doing the smaller side, not the wider side. And we'll cut out that little X, or just cut it out so it looks like this. So these two pieces are cut out. And our pieces like that. I'm folding it in so I know where to tape. I'm taking my adhesive and adhering about three lines down the whole. I love this stuff when it works. Okay, so on each side, and I'm folding this down so that I know where the mark. Let's see if you can see this. Yeah, I can't see it. Okay, well, and you don't need to have the tear and tape on this part. The regular adhesive should work. So you can see, now you can see it, that if I folded this down, I'm not putting any adhesive on this center part, just on each end. Okay. Now we will take our front piece and line it up. Lay it on the front, but don't press it down until you're ready to. So on either side, I'm starting on this right side here. I'm lining up the edges so that this is flat. Oops, 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 oops. You don't want to push down too soon. And now that side is down. And the other side, I'm doing the same thing. And if you put it upright, that works as well, so that the bottom's even. And now that's how you have your bench. So I'm pushing this up. I'm going to be the boss of it again. Moving it to the side. See, it's a little bunched up here, like that. And I'm flattening it out. And then I'm going the other way, flattening that out. And that's important, otherwise it won't lie flat. And then when you know that it's good, you'll just push that down and you have the basics of your bench card. Now we'll decorate it. And I took some pieces of just white for this particular card, and I embossed them. You can't see the embossing on this part, but I embossed it with the Timber 3D embossing folder. So I will make this go flat, so it's easier to adhere it. It doesn't matter which side you use, both sides are the same. So these go on each side. On the sides it's a 1/4 inch. Again, I'll put the measurements on the post. They're an 1/8 inch around, all the way around. You can kind of see it here. There we go. And then the other side. Eighth inch in, and now I'll put on, I'm calling them the drawer fronts. These are just 1/2 inch by 3 inches. And I'll put one on the right in between here. Oops. And then white on white is sometimes hard to see. And then the other one I'm putting on the other side. Just about, I don't know, 1/4 inch down. And now we have all our drawers and doors. You can kind of see it in the light. Next step is taking, as you can see on this one, I have a backdrop. So I'm taking some designer paper, and this is 3 by 2 3/4, I believe, and I'm just gluing that on the inside. So glue that. This particular piece that I'm using here, if you don't recognize it, is from a retired designer paper because I ran out of the other. Whoops. Okay, so this is sticking before I wanted it to. So now I have to trim the back of it. Okay, I'm going to push this down here. There we go. Okay. So now I need to trim this a little bit here because it's extended over the top. There we go. Next we will put our doily on, or tablecloth, whichever you want to call it. This is on Petal Pink, and I embossed it with the gingham embossing folder, and I punched it out with the Label Me Lovely punch. And to make it fit on here nicely so it looks like this, you can see it extends over the front but it's flat in the back. This works out nicely it has a couple bumps, I'm going to call them bumps. So you have this first bigger bump, we're going to cut across that one, just straight across. So you can see now it's flat in the back, and then this will be our front. So I'm folding on the curved side, and I'm folding it on this line. So you can see it's just on this straight line, so that will be my front. I'm putting adhesive on the flat side, or the cut-off side, and I'm not putting adhesive on this part yet. So that just gets lined up inside here. You want to center it like so. Push it down, and this part is loose yet. And to keep this part down, I cut out some teapots. And this is from the Teapot Designer paper. Again, I'll list all the supplies. And we will use a dimensional on the back of the teapot. I'm using one toward the bottom. And we'll use I guess I'm just going to do this. And then one on the cup, the back of the cup. All of the cups are different colors because that's the way the paper was. And I didn't feel like cutting out this white portion, so I have a Petal Pink marker that I am just going to color this in, and it looks like part of the background. Same thing on the cup. There's a little bit of the handle, and now you didn't have to cut it out. Alright, so now we'll put this on. Taking off my release liners here. And you want to line it up. Try to hold it up here. So you want to line it up so that it's on the doily but flat. Let's see if I can. And put it in there like that. And then the same thing with the cup next to it. Kind of small. I overlapped it a little bit with the teapot, and now it will be able to hold that in because it's got the dimensionals on it. The next step, I'm putting a dimensional on the little flap here for the front of the card. Squeezing that on there, so that'll keep that nice, and it gives it a little bit of dimension there. Next, I will take my little sign. I did a thank you and a piece of black, and that will go on there. That way you don't have to necessarily put a sentiment in it. It looks like it's part of the design. I like realistic sort of things, and that's why I did it that way. This does not need to be dimensionalized, and that goes underneath a little bit. Center it, like so. And the final step is taking the matte black dots and using the these as the door or drawer pulls. So I think I'll use the smaller ones in this one. And you'll put them on. You'll need 6 of them, like so. And then 1 on each drawer, or 2 on each drawer, I mean. Like that. Just adds a little bit of realism, and it gives a little something there, I guess. And that's it. So it's a very simple technique. It was one of those that intimidated me. You could add a whole lot of other things to it, like I did in this one. I added the plants and the dog and all kinds of other things. But to keep it simple, this is the way it ended up. On your tiny one, everything is in there. This is for the club members. Everything's in there. You'll do it the same way. Put your little piece in here, cut on here 3/4 inch across, and then this will go on the front, and that's how it will fit on your direction sheet. Also on the direction sheet on the back are the instructions as well for the main card. So I hope you enjoyed learning how to make this bench card, and there's so many possibilities of what you can do with this technique. So I hope you enjoyed it, and have a great day. Thanks for watching.